What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Square Circle Podcast. I'm your host, Marie Shadows, and on this episode, we are going to continue to talk about Best of the Super Junior 30. Now, I understand that the whole entire tournament is complete. We have our winner, and I'll be talking about our winner as we get closer to the later night of Best of the Super Junior 30. However, this is night 5. This happened on May 17th, 2023 over in Sendai. I hope that you guys enjoyed nights 1, 2, 3, and 4 because those nights were done on Twitter Spaces. Again, if you have not listened to the other episode where I explained what I was doing during the time being of the Best of Super Juniors and why I haven't been uploading as much content as I would love to, it's because I had decided to try something different, to try out the Twitter Spaces and talk about Best of the Super Juniors 30 for each night. However, that week of May 14th through May 20th, I slowed down because I was getting a little overwhelmed. And then on the 20th, May 20th, I was doing commentary at Goddesses of War Wrestling. So I had to prepare for that. So I slowed down and I asked myself the question, did I fail in my attempt to complete a little challenge that I set up for myself pertaining to Twitter Spaces and see if I can review each of Best of Super Junior nights? But I really didn't fail. My main goal was to make sure that people on Twitter in the IWC can understand how I podcast, because I don't really think they know that I have a podcast, or if they do know I have a podcast, I don't really get any type of DMs to be like, oh, that was a good episode, or I've heard your stuff, or this or that. I barely get that. So I want to make sure that the IWC knows that I have not only a podcast, but I have different perspectives. I try to improve professional wrestling where it is, because for some reason, the negativity in the IWC has definitely become full force and front and center, and everybody wants to group anyone with a podcast that talks about professional wrestling in this negativity group. And I was not going to stand for that, because I do not want to be grouped in with just the negative Nancys that will say things for clickbait, that will say things out of their ass, and don't do anything else other than stirring the pot and taking your hard-earned money between the prices of $5 and $13 a month, or any type of super chat you send them, and they keep doing the same cycle over and over and over again. So my Twitter Spaces experiment was about putting my voice out there, letting people know that I try to uplift the wrestlers and give ideas and suggestions in order to improve their already good foundation, to improve their awareness of character building, and just make wrestling as great as it can be. I always used to say in my previous episodes, if you go back into the back catalog, is that I want to make sure I leave wrestling better than it was yesterday, because I believe that everybody can definitely improve on whatever it is that they're doing. If they have any weaknesses, they can improve it. And if I see it, I would most likely talk about it and be like, here are some ways you can improve. And they'll be off the top of my head, rather than trying to sit there, write it out, and be like, okay, this is what it is, and I'm reading a script. So that was my challenge for the Twitter Spaces. I hope people enjoyed the 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And this will be night 5 in Sendai. As always, if you enjoy anything that I produce, create, upload, and share with you guys, by all means, tell a friend, let them know that there's a new podcast that your friend should be checking out, or even some other content from me that they should be checking out. The best kind of marketing is you telling a friend. It's priceless. And as always, I'm not going to bore you with the other ways for you to support myself, the Square Circle Podcast, the Square Circle Society. Every single link that I will talk about a little bit later in this podcast will be down in the description below. So do not forget to go and check that out, please. All right, let's jump into this. In my previous episodes, when discussing Best of the Super Juniors, I was explaining how crowd is very important, because I saw a couple of tweets on the Twitter timeline about crowds and reactions and why the crowd doesn't react the way that it should react if they're comparing it to a United States crowd, an American crowd. And that is because wherever they go in Japan, every single crowd is going to be different. If New Japan goes to Korakuen Hall, you are 100% a rock star for that night. If New Japan Pro Wrestling goes to Sendai, you're going to get a clap and also a murmur-like crowd where they won't be shouting as much, but you will hear some sporadic yelling of names, cheering of names, sometimes booing. Like, they'll let you know what they think. They won't just do it in a very rock star-ish way like Korakuen Hall. As you know, when it comes to Best of the Super Juniors 30, the way to win Best of the Super Juniors is who can accumulate the most points by the end of the tournament to go to the finals. Just as a refresher, a pin or submission is 2 points, a countout is 1 point, and if we ever get to a DQ or a no contest, that is 0 points. All of these shows going forward have been Block A and Block B participants. There is no other wrestling matches on these shows until we get later on into the tournament because most people have already been knocked out. So for Block A, we're starting off with Block A. We have Taguchi versus Hiromu. Hiromu is still our IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Taguchi has definitely been a breath of fresh air during this whole tournament because Taguchi has decided that he's going to be a serious competitor. And that is what we have been seeing throughout this whole entire tournament. There has been no comedic spots, no stupid butt comedy spots as well. Taguchi has definitely taken this very seriously and has been using the ankle lock to his advantage in every single match that he has. And he has been doing great. Hiromu, on the other hand, Hiromu is an awesome wrestler. Hiromu also wants to be part of the heavyweight division at one point in his career and has been telling New Japan to put him in the heavyweight division. Now, Hiromu's overall in this tournament has definitely been up in the air, very questionable, and I can see that eventually he will probably be making his heavyweight debut sometime soon. I mean, if he got the chance to fight Sonata for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship title, New Japan usually follows up with little tiny teases like that to introduce new people into a new division. They like to test the waters, as we say. However, in this match of Taguchi versus Hiromu, it was a very good match. We started out with a headlock, shoulder tackle, some mini drop kicks, and a lot of attempted pins. We get a tope con hilo on Hiromu, and like I said, Taguchi works on the ankle of Hiromu, putting him into an ankle lock. Hiromu comes in with a blue thunder bomb, almost getting a near fall. We get a frog splash on Hiromu, another pin and a kick out. And as Hiromu kicks out, Taguchi ends up applying that ankle lock hold. Of course, Hiromu is able to make it to the ropes for a rope break, and then we get a butterfly suplex, a dropkick to Hiromu, a lariat, and Taguchi goes for a pin. Hiromu kicks out at that point. Taguchi comes in with a fireman's roll through carry, gets countered. Hiromu does a roll through crucifix. 1-2 kick out for that counter, and then Hiromu comes in with a roll up and traps Taguchi's arm into a pin clutch combination, and Hiromu gets the victory for 2 points in this match. I'm telling you guys, roll-ups, pins, clutch pins, drop toho, they are all your best friends in professional wrestling, and they are the most dangerous moves in professional wrestling. You can do all the flips, all the spots, all the high-risk moves, but sometimes less is more, simple is more, and a roll-up, a clutch pin, the drop toho, anything that is small and insignificant that you can overlook are the most dangerous moves in professional wrestling. Now we head to Block B. We have Bushi versus Kevin Knight. Now, before I get into this matchup, I would like to say that I put out on Twitter. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, follow me at Marie_Shadows. I put out on Twitter that I just don't understand Bushi. Bushi is a very good wrestler, but I just don't understand him, and I don't really care for his matches. However, because I put that out there, I didn't put it out there like that. I was just like, I don't understand. Can someone please give me Bushi matches to watch? Because I need to understand. If I don't understand something, I like to watch a wrestler's body of work, including promos and matches, so I could get a better understanding of who they are, their motivations, and if I can somehow like them and be on the bandwagon of like, yeah, let's cheer for them, be on the bandwagon of let's go check them out, let's go support them, because there has to be something that I can relate to with the wrestler. And so my tweet was answered. Thank you, Twitter. Thank you, IWC. Not everyone in the IWC are horrible people or just horrible takes and negativity all around. If you do really ask genuinely and you're like, I would like to get to know this wrestler, I don't understand, please give me some matches to watch. And my prayers were answered. And I was given a list of a lot of Bushi matches to watch. So as you guys know, I do have Tape Study Tuesdays and now adding Tape Study Thursdays where we watch professional wrestling matches. And if you are an indie wrestler, by all means, get in contact with me because I would love to watch your match on the indies, give you feedback live and in person over on either Twitch or Kick. I will have to decide. I still haven't decided. That's like a really big decision for me, but let's not get into that for this. But again, I would definitely be watching some Bushi matches soon on either a Tuesday or a Thursday. Stay tuned to all my social media channels to know when, so you can participate and talk about Bushi if Bushi is your favorite New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestler. So there's that. So I will be watching those matches. Just because they were given to me doesn't mean that I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to go watch it because I am a student of this game, so I will go do that. So let's talk about Kevin Knight for a second, because Kevin Knight is definitely one of those to watch and have on your radar. If you're not a fan of Kevin Knight yet, you should be. After this whole entire tournament, he has done amazing. He has super speed. You know, if any movie company out there needs someone with speed to either be in like the Flash universe or maybe a Dragon Ball Z movie or universe too, go get Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight is also one half of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion with Kushida. So Kevin Knight is super tall, super fast. This dude has amazing drop kicks. This dude can definitely fly around the ring. And sometimes I think it startles the other wrestlers because it's like you see him one moment and then he just disappears and shows up somewhere else. That would definitely startle me too, because I'll be like, yo, I just saw you on my left and now you're on my right. Like, how do you do this so fast? So speaking about being fast, this match started off super fast. Bushi comes in with some dives to Kevin Knight, and then as the fastness started, it slowed down just as quick. We get a chin lock, we get a rope break from Kevin. Again, Kevin with that drop kick, and then goes over the top rope. This guy flies, ladies and gentlemen. We got some forearms, we get a plancha to Bushi. We get springboard action, some more drop kicks, and I have not even praised the way that Kevin Knight does the sky high power bomb. That thing looks super dangerous, and it's one of those moves that definitely takes your breath away. I don't know how people kick out of it. Bushi comes in with that rewind kick. It catches Kevin. Kevin does the drop kick. And then Kevin does this thing of the no hands hurricanrana. That's when a wrestler sits on the top rope and Kevin just comes running, jumping, and does the hurricanrana with no extra assistance in order to do that. That's why it's called the no hands hurricanrana. Then we get a spike DDT to Bushi, and Kevin goes over, covers Bushi 1, 2, 3, and picks up 2 points for his match against Bushi in Block B. Our next match is Block A. We have TJP versus Show. Listen, I honestly think that throughout this whole entire tournament, because I've seen the whole thing and now I'm just going back and reviewing these shows for you guys and giving you a different perspective on matches, character, story, all of that. Show and Evil are the fucking highlight of Best of the Super Juniors. I don't fucking get it. House of Torture is so evil, lack of a better pun or whatever. Like, House of Torture is just there, and their cheating could get super annoying at times. Their booking could get super annoying at times. And I'm like, yo, we need something new. We need something fresh. But I watched this whole tournament as a fan. I really did, because there were some times where Show and Evil were interacting and I was falling for it as a fan, because I am still of the belief that maybe we'll add some new character layers to House of Torture. Maybe we'll get some tension rising between these two, and maybe a fallout or something that, like, you know, will be very interesting to follow, because again, their cheating is nonstop. Their cheating is predictable. Their cheating is annoying when booked, but they are a household name. I've said this before in the previous episodes, and I will stand by it still, that House of Torture is a household name no matter where they go. They get a reaction no matter where they go. If they didn't get a reaction, then New Japan management will be like, okay, we can't have this. We got to try something. But they get a reaction every single time they go to a town, and it's very pleasing, to say the least. I know people don't want to hear this. I know people want me to say that House of Torture is bad and be along with them, because House of Torture does annoy everybody, but you do have to give credit where credit is due, and that House of Torture is a household name, and I still think that Show is a very adorable heel, because I'm like, Show, you smile too much, you look too much like a pretty boy, like, you're even sexy in that regard, and you're gonna tell me that you're gonna do heel things? Man, I can't take you seriously, but, you know, I'll play along with you, Show. Like, you know, I call him an adorable heel because of when he first came into House of Torture, it was doing very adorable things in the way of cheating where he didn't really understand or know. It's just something that he was just doing, and it looked adorable. It really did. So he got nicknamed, you know, adorable heel for me. So we have TJP versus Show. As you know, TJP is part of United Empire and one half to the tag team with Catch 22. If you have not seen Catch 22, which is Akira Francesco and TJP in action, you are missing the purest form of freaking tag team wrestling, man. They have definitely brought back tag team wrestling to what it should be. There are other teams out there, don't get upset at me, but let's just say that Akira and TJP are the best right now. However, let's talk about this match. Evil comes out with United Empire gear. So meaning the towel, the t-shirt, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Evil, what are you doing? Right? Because in every single match that had Show, Evil will be there at his corner, and both of them will have some stupid plan that I'm like, what are we going to do today, right? Show and Evil are like Pinky and the Brain, where the brain is like always thinking about world domination and what they're going to do the next day and the plans. And you have Pinky being like, well, what are we going to do today? That's exactly what Show and Evil reminds me of. So yeah, Evil comes out with the United Empire merch to support TJP, but TJP ain't buying it. He's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So that allows for a distraction to happen. Show comes in and attacks TJP, but TJP comes in with the Hurricanrana and disrupts all of Show's attack with a simple little maneuver I like to call the drop Toho. And then TJP quickly puts on the Muda Lock onto Show. But rope break, we're all good. Evil pushes TJP off the ropes at one point because, you know, Evil does evil things. Show covers TJP. TJP kicks out. We get that combination kick by Show to TJP. Quick cover, TJP kicks out. TJP has a lot more resilience than anything. So Show, you got to do more damage if you want TJP to stay down. But when has ever TJP ever stayed down? Never. Really. TJP is now in control of the match, gives Show a back elbow and a face wash to Show. That face wash move is also the highlight of TJP's matches, as everyone really loves that move, especially the fans. The fans react appropriately to the move. They cheer it on. We get another distraction, a superplex to TJP. TJP kicks out. The straight jacket cross-arm power driver that Show does to TJP. TJP kicks out of that one too. In desperation, Show tries to do the shock arrow on TJP, but it gets avoided. TJP comes in with a kick, and that standing lariat goes and covers Show, but Show kicks out. Show is working TJP's hand, throws TJP into the ref, because what is an Evil and Show match without a ref bump, right? Now, the ref is down. Show automatically has a wrench because that is his calling card. That is his MO. And TJP was smart enough to bring his own wrench. So both of them are staring at each other with their own wrenches. We get a nice Eddie Guerrero spot in this match, which leads to a roll-up, a kick-out, and then we get a bulldog. The Mamba Splash comes after that, and TJP goes and covers Show for the 1, 2, 3. TJP gets 2 points in this match. Our next match for B Block is Clark Connors versus Akira Francesco. Let's talk about Clark Connors for a bit, because I had the honor and the privilege to interview the Wild Rhino Clark Connors oh so long ago. And did I ever think that Clark Connors would turn to Bullet Club of all clubs and get rebranded as 100 Proof Clark Connors? The slow, methodical, intimidating man known as Clark Connors? No. That episode might just be his origin story of how wonderfully awesome he is, and how wonderfully he loved wrestling, and the passion was there, but the recognition, you know, he had to take some time off to deal with an injury. And I guess fans forgot about him, because he really did say that he hopes the fans don't forget about him. And that was when he was being interviewed by my buddy, the Standing Streamer, over at Putting You Over, which you guys should definitely go and check out and support them as well. And so, you know, we were like, don't forget about Clark. Myself and the Standing Streamer never forgot about Clark, but I would say that I am happy to see 100 Proof Clark Connors now in the mix in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and to align himself with Gato and the leader of Bullet Club, David Finlay. And yet no one has given me a really good answer as to why they think he is not the leader of Bullet Club and why he is not a good fit, because they don't know. See, the thing about Bullet Club is that for years, Bullet Club has always been that dominant force until we got to the Elite era. And I could say that Jay White was trying to bring it back to being a full force threat in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But then as time went on and things were dwindling, you could definitely see that it wasn't as big of an importance as it was when Jay White first started in Bullet Club. However, Jay White being Bullet Club leader was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed reviewing those matches and his career, and I loved it as Bullet Club leader. Now that we get to an era in society where everything has to be praised, everything has to feel good, people forget that you can't be soft in professional wrestling. You can't be soft when it comes to building up a team that you are supposed to have a secure dominance over, where people are like, I don't want to mess with them. As the last days of Bullet Club was dwindling, that was there. That softness was there. High-fiving people, having matches, not really doing too much Bullet Club stuff, or as I like to say, the Bullet Club tactics. So who better to take over Bullet Club than David Finlay, who knows about being vicious, who knows about getting the job done, who knows about taking what's theirs. Sure, we can argue and debate that David Finlay's career isn't the best, depending on who you ask and what kind of questions are proposed. However, ever since he broke away from Juice Robinson and they are no longer a tag team, David Finlay's stock has definitely risen ever since he was on a singles career. He had the best matches and people were definitely talking about him. He was getting a buzz, and his favorite tagline of "expect me" was definitely one of those that you really do have to watch this guy very closely. David Finlay was not taking a back seat to no one once he became a singles competitor, a very serious singles competitor. And while, yes, someone might throw out the statistic that Jay White won more matches over Finlay in their feud, that's great. Who the fuck is out of Bullet Club now? Jay White. Jay White went over to AEW to form Bullet Club Gold. How does that make sense? You're not really supposed to take the Bullet Club logo with you where you go unless it's okay with David Finlay. I don't know who checked in with David Finlay, but I don't think Jay did. So I don't know. That's just a very weird thing. And we have a lot more questions than answers. But getting back to the way that David Finlay made himself super important in his singles career is by taking the things that he wants, going after the things that he wants, probably the things he needs. It was a very fantastic match against Will Ospreay. He almost beat Will Ospreay for that IWGP United States Championship title. That would have been great. But that wasn't the case. But he almost came close. And he proved everybody wrong. And now they're still just chatting about how he's not a very good leader. He should have never been a leader. David Finlay even had a wonderful G1 run. Not to take away anything from Clark Connors by talking about David Finlay like this, but I would like you guys to understand the comparison that I'm trying to make. Clark Connors started out as a young lion in New Japan Pro Wrestling in the LA Dojo, worked his way up, took every single opportunity that was given to him. He had a really nice following. He had people like myself to hype him up and other people as well. He's an all-round wrestler that you want to have on your team and put the best foot forward for him. However, because of that injury and fans forgetting about him, and when he came back, you saw a different type of Clark Connors. Clark was taking matches that can prove that he's still one of the best, because his match with Suzuki was one of the best. And he had Ken Shamrock in his corner, and you saw that Clark Connors could be anything in that ring. Clark Connors can definitely match your type of wrestling style and maybe even beat you. So it's opportunities like that that makes certain wrestlers in this industry very dangerous, because they're willing to put themselves into the unknown, knowing that the reward is going to be sweeter than the risk. Guys like Finlay and Clark Connors are already putting their body on the line. They're already risking it all for all of us in this entertainment world that we call professional wrestling. the reward is sweeter when they end up accomplishing everything that everyone has said they cannot do. They are both takers in this world of professional wrestling. They are both opportunists in this wrestling business. And they are both just what David Finlay always says, that he recruits savages. He recruits killers. He recruits people that do not hesitate. And if you look at Clark Connor's whole career, I've never seen this guy hesitate. Never seen Clark hesitate. He is the Wild Rhino for a reason. He does things that you would not be expecting someone of his size, meaning height and weight, would do it in a match. He's very clever. He's very crafty. Now that he is 100 proof, Clark Connors is a little bit dangerous now. He's turned it up just a little bit more than his Wild Rhino side. He comes out, he's intimidating, he's methodical, he's slow. Sometimes he could get a little cocky just because of knowing that he's better than everyone else. However, as much as I love Clark Connors, in the beginning, I was saying that his intimidation towards the fans was not really working. And I think the fans didn't get it into their mind that he has completely turned on them until later on in this tournament, where the fans react appropriately now to Clark Connors. And Clark just has to do everything that he does. But also, I was suggesting that he talks to them in Japanese. Because again, what Japanese person is really going to believe that a foreigner is going to learn their language when most of us here in America scream at someone else for talking in Spanish when that conversation never included you? So that's what I sort of think that the next step for Clark to do in order to make sure that the Japanese people will still get that intimidation is to say a couple things to them in Japanese. And I say that because the moment that somebody knows you can speak their language, you become a little bit more dangerous to them. Because now you can listen into conversations, and if they know that they're talking about you, you can say something. That's what happens out here in America, is that once you learn a different language and you know they're talking shit about you, you can go up and be like, talk to them in the same language, and that scares a lot of people. So I'm just saying, if this character is to work, that's one way that I would approach it. It could always be like testing it out, and if it doesn't work out, then that's totally fine. We'll find another way. But I want to see Clark Connors 100 proof succeed as this badass guy that I know he is. He's still going to be my favorite no matter what. Like, I enjoy what Clark Connors does. He aligns himself with Gato. And let's talk about Gato for a second. Gato seems different in his handling of Clark Connors and David Finlay. This new Bullet Club under David Finlay's rule feels a lot more individualism than anything else. It's still a team. It really is. It's still a team. And whenever they were doing tag team matches, you can definitely see that David Finlay wants a team effort when it comes down to let's have tag team matches. But if you're out there by yourself, you have this individualism about you while still representing Bullet Club. And I think that's important because that can show off a lot more character, that could show off a lot more story, and that definitely could tell a story inside the ring. So Gato knows how to pick his people, and Gato stands by those that will make him money. David Finlay is going to make him money because we all talk about David Finlay. Clark is going to make him money because Clark is going to intimidate people and so forth, and money just comes right in with that. And eventually, we will be probably getting another match between David Finlay and Jay White. Like, I see that in the future. And I also think that something's going to go down where there won't be no Bullet Club Gold. We'll see. I honestly believe that David Finlay versus Jay White will never stop going. Okay. I gave a lot of praise to Clark Connors. Let me give a lot of praise to Akira Francesco. Akira Francesco is only 23 years old, and this guy is amazing in the ring. He first started out in All Japan Pro Wrestling, trained by Tajiri, won multiple championships over there in All Japan, and then came over here to New Japan Pro Wrestling and became part of United Empire as a junior. And his mentor, TJP, definitely has a wonderful hand in shaping and molding Akira into what we have now. Akira is still a fireball, but Akira is getting better and better each and every time that we see him on New Japan World, and he has become a much more rounded wrestler, even though he still has a fiery personality. Like, it is amazing to see his growth from when he first came into New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was like this unrefined nugget, and now he's getting closer and closer to becoming that diamond that we all see Akira as. Akira is great as a singles wrestler and as a tag team wrestler with TJP. Akira and TJP make up Catch 22, the tag team for the United Empire. And Akira has the biggest fucking heart in this business. He loves this business. He's passionate about this business. He also is from Italy. Shout out to Italy. I'm half Italian, so that makes me happy to see more Italians in wrestling. If you guys don't know, I also interviewed Ray Jazz, who's also Italian. If you have not checked out that interview, go ahead. Akira is a joy to watch. He really is. He's a very good pick for United Empire. He's a very good pick for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So in this match, we get a huge shoulder tackle from Clark Connors and a suplex to Akira, because Clark Connors is the bigger man, so he definitely took advantage of Akira in the beginning moments. Akira tries to come back with a chop, but Clark has that power. He throws Akira to the outside and then throws Akira into commentary. We get some shit talking between Kevin Knight and Clark Connors. Kevin Knight is doing commentary with Kevin Kelly. Akira is now thrown into the crowd. Clark comes in with the power, a wheelbarrow suplex to Akira. Another suplex. Akira then smartly trips Clark with a drop down, which has never been done before. We get a wheelbarrow double stomp to Clark, double drop kick, a plancha by Akira, a crossbody, a cover, and then kick out. We get a power slam. Very beautiful power slam. We get a sunset flip. Clark kicks out of that. Then we get a clutch pin. Luckily, there was a kick out, because if not, the match would have been over. Clark Connor comes in with his spear, that brutal spear that he does, and this no chaser finisher, which is a single arm straight jacket suplex or brainbuster-esque move. Clark goes over, pins Akira, 1, 2, 3, and Clark picks up 2 points for Block B. Next, we have Block A, Doki versus Lio Rush. Doki is another wrestler that I just don't understand. He has a very nice wrestling style. He has a very unique wrestling style. He just hasn't really picked one to really focus on and try to make that the best unorthodox style. Doki has an unorthodox style, and seeing him throughout this whole entire tournament, I'm like, dude, there is something missing. You have not really stopped to pick a certain style. Now, sometimes when a wrestler does pick a certain style and sticks with it, it may not always be the best thing, because if you are constantly doing the same moves over and over and over, eventually opponent is going to come along, and that opponent is definitely going to get the one up on you and definitely throw you off your game. However, Doki is so talented that he has the option to choose to do a lot of luchador stuff and then some heavyweight stuff. Like, Doki does this suplex de la luna, which takes a lot of energy and strength out of him. And he is a big guy. He works out. He has muscles. and he's also short in the process. But doing something like that to certain wrestlers takes a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of effort. And as you exert all of that energy, effort, and power, you are most likely going to get tired in the match and then eventually fall for something very simple and not get the victory because you wanted to do something that could be of high impact. But you have to pick and choose when those high impact moves are necessary. This is Lio Rush's first time in Best of the Super Juniors and working fully with New Japan Pro Wrestling. We saw Lio Rush come into New Japan Pro Wrestling back last year at the New York City event, Rumble on 44th Street, where he came out to be Yo's tag team partner during that event. And Lio Rush is a member of Chaos. And Lio Rush in this event was really, really good. He's definitely super fast. He's like a speedster. So if anyone wants him for a movie in the Flash universe, you can book Lio Rush for that. Because Lio Rush, man, he could definitely go through multiple universes in the span of a second. Lio Rush and Doki start off this match super fast. Very, very fast. A lot of dives in and out of the ring. Again, like I mentioned before with the Suplex de la Luna, Doki does that too. Lio Rush does kick out of that. We get a Falcon Arrow on Doki, a Spanish Fly. Doki does the Doki Choki. Now, that move, which is known as the Milano Stretch, I believe that's what it is, he could keep that move. That finisher is devastating. He could keep that. Anything else in his arsenal would have to be changed up and like settle upon certain things that he likes doing, that he knows that could get the job done. We get a Dragon Suplex, and then we go right back into a Doki Choki. This causes Lio Rush to tap out to Doki. So Doki gets 2 points because of the Doki Choki. That move is devastating. Our next match is Block B, Robbie Eagles versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Robbie Eagles has a whole new attitude since joining TMDK. TMDK stands for The Mighty Don't Kneel. And ever since Robbie joined TMDK, like I said, his attitude has definitely changed. His aggressiveness has definitely changed. And it's definitely having him win matches and points during this Best of the Super Juniors tournament. It's like he got a renewed vigor and energy to prove to the world that Robbie Eagles is one of the best. And definitely whenever Robbie Eagles comes out, the crowd fucking loves him. It's really fun. I like to hear it, especially with Robbie doing his battle cry, and it's really great to hear. So in this match, we have Robbie accidentally diving into Kosei Fujita. This allows for Yoshinobu to come in and do a knee breaker to Robbie Eagles into the post combination, a drop kick, and then another smash of the knee of Robbie into the canvas. This whole entire tournament, Yoshinobu has worked on everybody's knee to soften it up so that way he can apply the figure four leg lock, which he does to Robbie Eagles during this match, and then even changes it up to a heel hook. However, Robbie Eagles is really resilient for all the attack that Yoshinobu does to him. Robbie manages to do a springboard kick to Yoshinobu despite having a really bad knee at this point. The turbo backpack, but Yoshinobu kicks out. And then we get a twisting kick to Yoshinobu. And then we get a pin and a 1, 2, 3 for Robbie Eagles. Usually Robbie Eagles would win via submission as he puts on the Ron Miller special. He did apply the Ron Miller special to Yoshinobu in this match, but it never came close to giving him the winning 2 points in Block B. Again, a simple pin via kick to Yoshinobu gave Robbie Eagles those 2 points. Hey guys, I know that we have 4 more matches left to go for the May 17th, 2023 night of Best of the Super Juniors 30. But I would like to take a quick second to talk to you about Forbidden Door because it includes New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you guys enjoyed the last Forbidden Door last year, then you're definitely going to enjoy this year. So I have a way for you guys to save money for this year's Forbidden Door, All Out, and Full Gear. If you don't know, Fight TV just dropped this wonderful bundle that you guys can get. If you guys are not familiar with Fight TV, it's one of the best streaming services for all things combat sports, fighting, wrestling, anything, you name it. Fight TV is number one in the game right now. So Fight TV dropped a bundle, an AEW bundle that includes Forbidden Door, All Out, and Full Gear. Rather than paying the $50 every single month, which you're losing money because that's $150 in total, you can save $71.99. This price does not change at all. It does not matter if the pay-per-view price on that day goes up. Your locked-in price is $71.99. So how do you end up getting this locked-in price for $71.99? In the description below, you can use my link, my Fight TV affiliate link. You can use it, click on it, go purchase the 3 AEW pay-per-view bundles for $71.99. Now, it is for international fans, so don't worry, American fans. If you have a VPN, use your VPN, change the location to internationally, so like the UK, for you to lock in $71.99 and save money so you're not spending $150 for those 3 months of the upcoming pay-per-views. If you do happen to use my link from Fight TV, I do end up getting a commission. I do have to say that. And I will be eternally grateful because that will help me with the channel, that will help me with traveling, and that will put a little money towards my next booking over at Goddesses of War Wrestling, July 8th in New Jersey, Battle of Athena. So every little thing helps me out, any kind of support. That Fight TV link for you to get AEW Forbidden Door, AEW All Out, AEW Full Gear will be in the description, so do not hesitate. Go and get those 3 pay-per-views for $71.99. All right, back to Best of the Super Juniors 30 review. For Block A, we have Mike Bailey versus Teton. This is the first time ever that Mike Bailey is working for New Japan Pro Wrestling and in Best of the Super Juniors. Mike Bailey just recently faced Tanahashi because Will Ospreay got replaced by Tanahashi because Ospreay was out. Mike Bailey does an impressive job during Best of the Super Juniors. All of his matches have a lot of kicks in them. All of his matches have a lot of knees and strikes and everything like that. The crowd loves him. The crowd does. Me, I'm still warming up to Mike Bailey. Teton is definitely an amazing competitor. He's a luchador through and through. He is from CMLL and he is part of LIJ. This match definitely starts off in a very hot lucha style of a match. Both are evenly matched. Mike Bailey could definitely match Teton. Teton could definitely match Mike Bailey. Bailey loves doing those double knees. We got some fighting to the outside. We got a float over DDT. We got a baseball drop kick. Some suicide dives. Some second rope moonsaults that Bailey loves to do in all of his matches. Teton recovers, does a tope con hilo, again with those double knees, but this time Mike Bailey landed on the apron, which again is the hardest part of the ring. We get the ultimate weapon, but that misses, which is basically a top rope move of double knees onto the opponent on their back. We got multiple pin attempts. We got multiple kicks by Bailey and then kicks by Teton. However, the flamingo driver that Mike Bailey does is what ends this match, gives Mike Bailey the 2 points. Our next match is Block B, Dan Maloney versus Master Wato. I hope that one day I get the chance to interview Dan Maloney. This man has captivated me, and I am super intrigued into his wrestling career. And I love the fact that he is brand new in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love the fact that he is part of the United Empire. I love that he has this amazing style in the ring, even though it's a lot of chops. Like, I don't think no one can compete with his chops because they are devastating. They sound super devastating. But there's just a way that he commands the ring, commands his confidence, that swagger that he has, that just really captivates me and draws me in. And I'm like, I want to know more about him. So I decided to do a tape study Tuesday or a tape study Wednesday because I missed Tuesday, so did it on a Wednesday. And we basically did a spotlight on Dan Maloney. And when I say we, I say me and my community. I looked up his matches and I was very impressed with what I saw. So everything that you see during this tournament from Dan Maloney, I always put him over and sing his praises. He's a very good wrestler. He has it all. He has no filter, and I believe that he will tell you things straight up with the most honesty that he could probably get, and don't dance around shit. He's like a no-nonsense type of guy, but always has your best interests at heart. Like, he looks like he wears his heart on his sleeve while trying to live his best life, while trying to make sure that everything goes as smooth. Like, you could tell a lot about this guy without talking to him directly. But from everything that I've seen, the way he carries himself, the way he loves his teammates whenever he does the backstage comments, you know that he has a big, giant heart of gold. You really do. So I am really excited that Dan Maloney is in New Japan Pro Wrestling with the United Empire, and he definitely feels like he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Super Junior division. Master Wato. Master Wato has come a long way since being a young lion, and he has really done the best he can do with every single opportunity that has been given to him. I have been talking with people behind the scenes in DMs, and we kind of agree that Master Wato is really good. He has a lot of talent. Even TJP said that he has a lot of talent, but he doesn't know what to do with it. And I'm going to agree with TJP again. Master Wato has so much talent. Master Wato always goes 2 steps forward and maybe like a step back, in worst cases, 2 steps back. But for the most part, Master Wato tries. Master Wato keeps getting better. It does not matter what kind of obstacle is put in front of Master Wato. He gives it his all, and he knows what he's doing. Sometimes he does need a little guidance, and that's what I think he needs to focus on, is how to best be the best Master Wato there is. However, I do also think that Master Wato has come into his own, and he's definitely owning what it means to be Master Wato. And I really do like the fact that he's in Best of the Super Juniors. I am excited that I got to see him grow from young lion to graduating, and then, you know, him becoming Master Wato, being in Fatal 4-Ways and triple threat matches with the best of the Super Juniors, that is El Desperado, Hiromu, Robbie Eagles. Like, to see him wrestle those guys are amazing. And to see him, how far Master Wato has progressed, I am super proud of this guy. Super proud of him. I wish I could interview him too, but I would need a Japanese translator to help me out. But I would love to interview Master Wato. Dan Maloney starts with a sneak attack, being very aggressive towards Master Wato. Again, we have a fast opening despite the sneak attack. Dan Maloney comes in with a suplex to Master Wato. Master Wato kicks out after a pin attempt. We get a leg scissors body wrap, which I haven't seen in a very, very long time on Master Wato from Dan Maloney. Master Wato manages to get a rope break. Then we get a back body drop, which, by the way, the wrestlers that are doing the back body drop and the back suplexes are looking fantastic. And I love seeing them in wrestling. It's really, really missed. Dan goes in for a cover, kick out. We get some kicks and some chops. Master Wato comes in with a bulldog to Dan and then a hook drop to Dan. Springboard elbow drop. Dan kicks out of the pin attempt. A drop kick to Master Wato from Dan. The spinning chop to Master Wato. And then Dan Maloney does the gore. According to commentators, the gore was passed down from Rhino to Dan Maloney. However, Master Wato kicks out because Master Wato does the Vinama to Maloney, and Maloney goes for a rope break. Then Master Wato has been doing this high-angle German suplex, which looks fantastic, and he does this in every single match. He did it to Dan Maloney, manages to go get the cover, the 1, 2, 3, and Master Wato picks up 2 points in this match for Block B. Now we come to Block A, which is Kushida versus Taiji Ishimori. This match is fantastic. Taiji Ishimori is still part of Bullet Club. Kushida is one half of the tag team and tag team champions with Kevin Knight, holding the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. This match was super technical. And you guys know me, I love technical wrestling over all the flips, all the spots. Like, technical wrestling is where it's at if you really want to tell a deep, deep story, and you get that with Kushida and Taiji Ishimori. Kushida is using more of his judo moves and knowledge on the wrestlers throughout this whole entire tournament. Taiji Ishimori is still the same Taiji Ishimori that can tie you up and really make you work for what you want. And you definitely want that win against Taiji, and he makes you work for it. Even with all the back and forth between Kushida and Taiji, it all came down to Taiji doing a bloody cross to counter Kushida. Goes for a cover, and Taiji gets the 1, 2, 3 and picks up the victory, giving him 2 points in this match for Block A. Block B is Yo versus El Desperado. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into this last match, I would definitely say please go take the opportunity to watch it in full. I will most likely watch it on one of my live streams. So if you want to, make sure you follow me at twitch.tv/Marie_shadows or kick.com/Marie Shadows. Either one, I will be watching this, but stay tuned to my socials to know exactly which platform I'm going to be on. This match was very great. Now, here's a little backstory on Yo. Yo definitely is finding his character, finding his groove in New Japan Pro Wrestling and in the wrestling world. It was noted on commentary that Yo has put, or what feels like he has put, wrestling on a list, and it's probably number 5. Yo wanted to do different things in life other than wrestle, and I believe this came right after Roppongi 3K broke up. There was this weird little time period of Yo trying to find himself, coming out and wrestling, and he was wearing oversized hoodies. He still is. Oversized hoodies, oversized pants, and they were just the color of white. And when you have a blank canvas, you usually want to start something on a blank canvas, but you don't know what. And I think every single creative goes through this, where it's sort of like either writer's block for the writers or drawing block, if that's a thing. But sometimes you get blocked creatively while you're staring at a blank page. And for a while, that has been Yo. Yo has been trying to find himself. Just recently, in this Best of Super Juniors 30 tournament, he is changing. There is something changing in his personality, in his thinking of professional wrestling. He's coming out more in a denim-like gear where it looks like quilts, and he's doing things in matches that are very unorthodox of Yo to do. Yo is very straight by the book, by the rules, but he's having fun and he's testing the waters and he's becoming a little bit more dangerous. A blank canvas is starting to find his inspiration, or its inspiration. But either way, he went from wearing solid colors to now wearing different shades of blue to represent that he's finding himself, that inspiration is coming to him, and his opponents are all great. Him versus Desperado, this match was awesome. El Desperado is a wonderful teacher. El Desperado is a wonderful wrestler, and I love El Desperado wholeheartedly because I understand where he comes from, his character, his motivation, his story. I get it. It's amazing. It really is. So him versus Yo was super great. So let me tell you a little bit about this match. Yo comes in with slapping Desperado's head. That is not what you want to do because El Desperado is going to take offense to that. You don't slap him upside the head as if like, you know, you got this in the bag. Let's be honest. El Desperado is way better than Yo. But Yo is definitely coming into his own, and Yo can hold his own. But if we're really going to be honest, El Desperado is better than Yo. Desperado throws Yo into the seats, into the crowd. Yo does a drop kick. There's a fake out. There's a plancha, and it got El Desperado. Sometime later in this match, El Desperado goes straight for Yo's knee, working it so that way he can apply numero dos and get the tap out for victory. But we'll see what happens. We get a beautiful snap German suplex and then a Falcon Arrow combination. Yo goes for the pin, but El Desperado kicks out. We get a stack pin this time from Desperado. Yo kicks out of that. As soon as Yo kicks out, El Desperado puts on numero dos, which is his finisher, which is also known as the stretch muffler. And I think that we should change that name. It's just really weird to say the actual name. Yo obviously gets to the rope to get a rope break. We get Cantaro de Angel from El Desperado, and Yo kicks out. We get a frog splash. Yo moves out of the way. We get a reverse dragon screw. The way that Yo does this reverse dragon screw is super fucking dangerous and gets me every single time. The way that Tanahashi and everyone else does a regular dragon screw, it's fine and you'll get a reaction out of me. However, whenever Yo does the reverse dragon screw, oh my God, it's way more devastating. We get a dragon suplex to El Desperado. Desperado kicks out. We get some knockout blows. We get some time to breathe between these guys. Yo avoids Pinche Loco, and this allows Yo to kiss the top of Desperado's head. He dodges. We get a knee strike to El Desperado, and then Yo comes in and does a direct drive and covers El Desperado and gets the 1, 2, 3. Yo gets 2 points for Block B, and that was the main event for Best of the Super Juniors 30 in Sendai for May 17th, 2023. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed this full entire episode of talking about Best of the Super Juniors Night 5. This is Night 5. As always, follow me on social media at Marie_Shadows. Make sure you are signed up to the wrestling newsletter over at Substack called Squared Circle Society. marieshadows.substack.com to get on the mailing list for more extra wrestling content that is not included in this podcast episode. Head over there to marieshadows.substack.com. Also join my Discord. It is also Square Circle Society. The link to that Discord server will be in the description below. We are doing very cool and innovative things over at the Square Circle Society Discord. We have a wrestling chat forum where we have weekly discussions of Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, NXT, any type of WWE pay-per-views, any type of AEW pay-per-views. We now have a wrestler appreciation thread. We are doing big things over at the Square Circle Society on Discord. We also have a general place to chat. We also have a place where we can network and talk with each other and have a good vibe. It is a non-toxic environment. We are friendly, we are encouraging, we uplift the wrestling community, wrestlers, and others. We do not believe in tribalism. We believe in having a good time and making sure that everyone is enjoying the wrestling that they enjoy. Again, that link to the Discord server, if you are interested, will be down in the description below. And as you know, I am affiliated with various brands, Fight TV being one of them. The link to that AEW pay-per-view bundle for $71.99. Do not miss your chance to get all 3 pay-per-views, Forbidden Door, All Out, Full Gear for $71.99. That link will be down in the description below. If you like the way the graphic for this episode looks on the podcast cover show, you can definitely sign up for a 30-day free trial for Canva, the Canva Pro. That link will also be in the description below. If you are a delivery driver, a taxi driver, Uber driver, if you do anything with your car and you go on road trips, you can now save 25 cents at the gallon at participating gas stations when you download the app Upside. Use my link that's going to be down in the description to get 25 cents off the full purchase of gas at the participating gas station that you are at. That money is going to come back to you as cash back. You can get that money through PayPal or you can use gift cards. That link and other links are there for you because I want to save you money, your hard-earned money. I want to save you money as much as I can. The last thing too is that if you have not grabbed yourself a wrestling planner from me, head over to amazon.com/author/Marie Shadows. Those purchases help me out directly, help out the channel directly, and it helps me travel because, again, your girl is booked for Battle of Athena, Goddesses of War Wrestling, July 8th over in New Jersey as a commentator. So if you want to help me out with that, I do accept sponsorships. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this whole entire review and possibly saving some money via the links that I will be having in the description below. Again, anything helps, and to tell a friend, that would be fantastic. The best form of marketing is when you tell a friend because those are priceless. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to an episode of the Square Circle Podcast. I am your host, Marie Shadows, and I'll see you guys on the next one.